shins are vertical is really what you're looking for. Like whether she can touch her heels with her fingers or not, a lot of people say that. It's a good rule of thumb, but you're really looking for shins vertical.
Can I say something real quick? Because I did this the other night. That's my new favorite thing. And I said, briefly, see if your middle finger will slightly whisper the back of your heel. And I had a guy do this.
Yeah.
Like, well, no, I guess that's not going to happen tonight.
All right. So again, you're just looking for shins vertical, and that works for most people. But you know, if you all, except for Terry, if you all stand up and place your hands on your thighs and look where your middle finger touches, there's an acupuncture gallbladder meridian point right where your middle finger would land. Most of you, normal is that your finger touches the middle of your thighs. If your torso is long and your arms are short or a combination, and you'll see people like this, their hands might only come this far. They're not going to touch the heels. Okay? But most people can, but just know that that's not an anatomical thing. And if you see somebody with short arms, it's noticeable. You're like, oh, as they're swinging their arms, their hands are like sort of up here rather than down here. And then it is, when you see somebody who looks a little bit more like a gorilla and their arms are way down here. And this matters, like we do these things where, you say place your hands on the floor on either side of their hips and lift up. Well, guess what? If you can't touch the floor this way, you're not going to just pop up. You're going to have to put blocks under your hands. So that's an anatomical thing. All right. So she's lying down. She's got her shins vertical. I like to say inhale, reach the arms overhead. This is a technique. This is not, it's just a way to do it. But this creates length in the spine. And then I say exhale, bring your arms into length. I've been saying chaturanga arms. I'm trying to reinforce this. We call it robot arms. But trying to reinforce that idea of the arms like that. And then, can you be a dad so you can roll your shoulders forward? So a lot of people will do that, so they'll roll their shoulders forward. When you look up into bridge, you want to press that back to your shoulders down. Remember warrior two arms? This. You want to contract those muscles between the scapula, called the rhomboids and the middle trapezius muscles. So put your arms overhead again, please. Bring them into row. Excuse me, robot arms. Fix my shoulders. What's that? Fix my shoulders? Yeah, do it right. So they really keep length on the spine here. I'm also looking at her pelvis, that it's flat. Can you scoop your tailbone and flatten your low back? Yeah. She's overdoing it. Well, some people will do that. As soon as you say bridge or wheel, they do that. I'm like, why? We want to go the other way. Have a neutral spine, so let your pubic bone and hip bones be. All right, and then you press into your arms, the back of your head, your feet, lift your hips up, come into the bridge pose. Interlace your fingers. All right, there's a couple of assists for bridge that are good. One is, you're trying to get people up onto their shoulders with no part of their back on the floor. I should be able to put my fingers underneath her back and her shoulders and touch. A lot of people will be on their back. So a nice assist to do is to place your hands underneath her back and lift her up. She doesn't really need that because she already had that. And that's a nice assist. And that's another one of those things, you do that to anybody in bridge, it feels great. Okay.
Is that a flat palm? When you lift it up?
I'm doing this, her spine. I'm not digging my fingernails in. I'm lifting up right between her shoulder blades, and I, practically lift her off. Figure shapes. Okay. Lifting the back of the heart up. Another nice one to do is I'm going to step on her feet. I don't have enough of my big toe now. I'm pressing down into her feet. I'm going to hold her shins. I'm going to ask her to pull away from your chest and your chin. That's what bridge is. And then release and use your hands.
Right, so that's what it's supposed to do.
Back bends are done from leg strength. Not from your back, not done from the strength of your legs. And, usually bridge, the legs are more or less okay. If people have trouble with their, if they're clenching their butt in bridge, what you'll see, the legs will do this thing. If these are the thighs, if these are my thighs right here, and they come into bridge, you might start to see this. And they start to get wider, and your thighs pop up, as opposed to the inner thigh rolling down and the thighs sitting down. So, that would look like this, as opposed to letting the inner thighs roll down, push the tailbone towards the knees, lengthen the tailbone, push with the legs. The legs have got to work. You're pushing this way, the legs. Okay, so we'll do those two bridges.